In 1999, the Home Office produced a report on secret societies within the police force.
Home Office ministers are becoming increasingly concerned about the secret activities of a group which is thought to include top-ranking police officers and judges who are using their influence to pervert the course of justice. Members of this group include religious leaders, Crown Prosecution Service and members of the social services. At the same time this report was being produced, senior members of the Metropolitan Occult, which included Lambeth Social Services, were involved in covering up child abuse at Lambeth Children's Homes.
Officers let it be known they had 40 offenders in their sights. The police secured 3 convictions. Operation Middleton's final report noted, "It would be unreasonable to judge the success of the operation solely on the basis of the number of successful prosecutions."
It's surprising the National Inquiry didn't investigate the role of the Metropolitan Occult, as the Home Office report identified 11,500 members. But what's even more shocking was a statement from a Freemason. Unlike us, this group do not swear allegiance to the Crown or to any of our institutes. They are a law unto themselves.
Here is examples of some of the cases covered up by the Metropolitan Occult.
At the age of 13, I told my school teacher that I'd been sexually abused by my foster father, John Hudson, who was a Metropolitan police officer. The school contacted my social worker, Charlie Elliott, and he took me to the police station where I was interviewed. I later learned that the police and Charlie Elliott had fabricated a medical report which stated that I was still a virgin and therefore I could not have been raped.
I was also abused by my foster father, who was a Met police officer. My foster sister told the police. They didn't interview me. In 1999, they said I couldn't give evidence against him. I'd had regression therapy. That was a lie. Now they're saying it's time barred.
In both the 2016 court case and the 2020 IOPC investigation, the police hid documents and lied, and now they are telling me that it is time barred.
Within just a few weeks of moving to Shirley Oaks, she woke to see the child in the bed next to her, Dorothy Winter, being raped by a member of staff.
I was sexually abused by my house father. I went on to tell my social worker, Charlie Elliott, what was happening. He then proceeded to sexually abuse me. I went to the police station to report it, and the person that picked me up from the police station was Charlie Elliott. I was then later introduced to his friend, a police officer. He threatened me not to say anything, and now the police say my case is time barred.
At this point I've got no clothes on, and he's touching my private parts. I told my social worker, Charlie Elliott, that I was being sexually abused by my house father, Dennis May, who ran Sandy Ridge Children's Home. My brother Jason was also abused by Dennis May and told our mother.
I was forced, and so was another child, for us to abuse each other. My brother Simon was also abused by Dennis May and reported it to the police, who covered it up. He died of liver failure.
As well as having friends who were police officers, a confidential briefing paper confirms that the police were aware Charlie's actions may suggest he is blocking the investigation. His friend and fellow paedophile, Dennis May, was chair of the local branch of the Folkestone and Hythe Conservative Association.
Why do you think I'm crying?
Now they are saying it's time barred.
I was abused at Angel Road Children's Home by John Carroll, and so was my brother. He was also abused by 3 other men. In 1999, he reported it to the police, unaware that John Carroll was friends with the police officer carrying out the investigation. As a result, my brother's life spiralled and he went to High Point Prison. 2 days after a visit by the police, he allegedly committed suicide. They will not tell me the names of the 2 officers who interviewed him, and now they're telling me that the case is time barred.
Leslie Paul worked at Southall Children's Home. He was taken to court on 3 separate occasions.
In 1994, he was jailed for 2 years for abusing 3 boys. In 2002, he was given just 18 months after pleading guilty to attacking 3 other boys. The judge praised him as a success story, who'd been rehabilitated and should take real pride from that. But now, another judge, John Hillen, has said that was a lie. Leslie Paul had shown no remorse and had recently made an indecent image of a child. He sentenced him to 13 years.
During the various court cases, the Metropolitan Police covered up the fact that he was a serving police officer and he had threatened boys to not speak out.
Because this is the face of a person that had his life fucked up because of you.
One of them has committed suicide. The Met Police now say that this is time barred.
In 1999, a woman reported being sexually abused as a child in a Lambeth children's home. The police officer investigating the allegation raped her on multiple occasions. During the same investigation, another police officer was reprimanded for covering up abuse. It now transpires that he covered up other cases that implicated the police.
The police now say it's time barred.
In 1974, 5 care children reported abuse by Donald Hosegood. The police only allowed 3 of the 5 children abused to give evidence at court and ignored other children who had also been sexually abused by him, including a 13-year-old girl he got pregnant. They were shocked when halfway through the court hearing, the judge dismissed the case. In 1999, as an adult, the person reported the abuser again. The police told them Hosegood was dead, but he wasn't. He was still alive.
But the police say their case is time barred.
My 11-month-old sister Sarah was found hanging in a South London children's home, Chevington. The coroner found an open verdict. He didn't know there was 7 paedophiles working there, including paedophiles Rita and Terry Clark and their friend John Carroll and another friend who was a Metropolitan police officer. The National Inquiry didn't do an investigation whatsoever on Chevington. Police are saying it's time barred.
My brother and I were abused as children by the head of Highland Road Children's Home, John Carroll. He was a lay Catholic preacher at St Murphy's Church in Norwood. He was convicted for abusing children in Liverpool, but the Met Police didn't pursue claims for the 20 Lambeth children he abused. He was friends with the Met Police officer that carried out the investigation, and in 2020 we tried to get justice, but the police refused to prosecute him. They now say it's time barred.
My sister was abused at Shirley Oaks Children's Home by the superintendent.
I was lying on my tummy and he raped me anally, basically.
She named another child who was also abused. I now know that she has made a statement confirming the abuse. There was another girl who the police didn't speak to.
The police said they would make sure the abuser didn't get his MBE. However, his friend, also a member of the Metropolitan Occult, Jimmy Savile, received an MBE and a knighthood.
But they state they can't make a case against the police now because it's time barred.
The Met Police apologised for their failure to follow up leads, but hid the fact that they were the ones that covered it up. Now they continue the cover-up by arguing all these cases are time barred.
Despite the fact that the National Inquiry in 2020 stated, like Scotland, the time bar should be lifted.